something?
Yeah.
Acting crazy, right? Okay, they're gonna be some collaborators on Picking at the Park, and I'm just excited for you guys to get to know them a little bit better and know like why they're great and why I hang out with them because they out here making moves, big business.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we have Trey Powell, or Dr. Shadow. Then we also have Pierre over here, 11 Power, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself because their list is so long. I don't want to leave anything out and disrespect them like that. So I'm gonna give y'all the floor. Let us know.
As she said, my name is Trey. Most people call me Shadow, short for Dr. Shadow. I am a filmmaker here in the Houston area. Producer, director, screenwriter, actor when I have to. So Far Close 1, So Far Close 2. So Far Close 2 will be on Amazon Prime within the next week. So
let's get it.
Thank God for that. She is in there. She did a tremendous job. That is a feature film. We actually shot a lot of the movie here at University of Houston. He's actually the executive producer of the film, also cinematographer, director of photography. Did a tremendous job, editor as well, and he has a few cameos.
I'm in there.
I just shot two more films. Really it's turned into a show. Robes, she's also in Robes, a female empowerment series, and the Nipsey Treaty, all male cast, pretty much a tribute to Nipsey Hussle's life. Have multiple projects coming up. My ultimate goal is to have 10 projects by the end of the year, and we're on pace. Also, minister.
Yes.
Advocate for the homeless. I love helping the homeless. That's pretty much a few of my credentials.
Yeah.
Let Pierre go.
Man, he said a lot. My name is Pierre. I'm also a graduate of the University of Houston. Filmmaker, music producer, artist, super creative. That's what I like to categorize it because pretty much all things creative I do in some capacity. Manager too, if you got some dope music, send it and we can try to work out a deal. But I guess most notably would be my music video work is what people tend to know me for, and through that we've been able to produce films, as he said. So Far Close is probably our biggest one so far. Dropping on Amazon super soon, and it is a feature film, so it's not no baby stuff. It's pretty long, and it took a lot of time, over a year of work. And we've also we throw concerts as well through 11 Power. I work with Essential Water, did an Adidas commercial last year. We worked with St. Arnold's Brewery, and who else we got to sponsor us? I can't even think. I'm missing somebody, but we get sponsorships and things like that. So definitely like to give back. Love inspiring people, inspiring the youth, through camera work or even music, through all things creativity. So it's a lot, but if y'all want to learn more, we gonna touch on it later.
Yes. That's why I couldn't list it all because that's not even fair to these guys. They work really hard, and that's why, of course, we asked you guys if you wanted to collaborate. I was actually really nervous because I was like, they probably not going to want to collaborate with me. They big time.
They said yes.
I was like, I don't know, but I see how hard you all work when just having the chance to even act on your films and be there. I see what all you guys do, constantly putting out content, and we know as creatives or people who are trying to take that chance on your dreams that it gets very hard because you're doing the work on a road less traveled, and also in a society where social media makes it look like it's easy. So I just really wanted to touch on that. Even I know you guys work close, y'all are really close friends too, but what are some challenges that you face within your own self as you continue to work on your dream every single day and produce that content? Because with that long list, people out there like, man, y'all do it all. Like, how can I even get there? That person with like just that dreams or that first script or that first camera, they're like, maybe be like, I don't know if I can do this. What's that perspective?
Well, me having a day job, I'm actually a property manager, so it's pretty demanding. And then when I get home, I struggle with, should I lay down or should I
yes.
Should I actually start on this script or finish the script for a client or edit this film? And so really the challenge is doing it when you don't feel like it. Because some days I'm like I'm ready to go, and then the other days where you like it's raining outside, so you'll find an excuse to not do it. The challenge I face is really doing it when I don't feel like it. Muhammad Ali infamously said that he doesn't count when you do sit-ups, pull-ups, push-ups until it starts to hurt. And then once it starts to hurt, that's when he starts counting. Because that way he know what he's truly made of. And so I think about a lot of the biblical stories and whenever they face this challenge. And then one last thing I think about is sometimes I look back at the barriers I've overcame and like, dang, I can overcome this barrier too. And so once I put that in my mindset, then I feel like nothing can stop me but me.
I'm with that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I used to be in the workforce. I used to work my regular full-time job too. I was kind of like the first one out of like this creative pack to kind of see it face first. So I was able to piggyback and kind of give my peers a lot of insight as far as to how it was going to be and some of the things, because I struggled with the same things that he struggled with. When I used to get home from work, I would catch the light rail and it was like, hey, you hit the couch or do you grind? And that's what kind of makes really the situation. But that's definitely the thing. It's balancing, and then it's also not giving up, because with the type of work, anything creative, you don't really see immediate results. Sometimes it takes 5-10 years. Sometimes it takes even longer. So luckily, we've just been well versed to do different things to where we could kind of expedite it a little bit. Well, not really. I mean, it's been over 10 years of work and preparation. That's really what it is. So yeah, it's just balance, and that's the most difficult thing. But if you work when you when you don't want to work, and I think the guy's name is Randy Polish, R.I.P. But he had a good quote too, and he was like, a brick wall is put in front of you, see how much you really want something. So at the end of the day, it's we knocking down brick walls pretty much 24/7. It's one after the other, because it's always a wall. It never fails. It comes every time, and every time it just boom. So
see how much you really want it.
Yeah, see how much you really want it.
Yeah, but that's true, and that's honest, because now I just graduated, so I guess 6 months out now, and when I get home, I'm like, I'm about to sleep, like I'm tired, all that other stuff, and I'm just like, no, I have to, even if it's just a little bit. But when you speak on those brick walls or those obstacles, that's where we really get on. How do you handle that when those changes come?
I think mainly for me, I'm like a real family-oriented type of person. So for me, it's mainly my family. I always think just like at the end of the day, like we in a position to not only change our lives, but we can change everybody's lives who's attached to us. And we can at least provide an opportunity. Now, maybe people won't take the opportunity, but, just knowing that we can be the spark to do that, right. That's for the most part, that's what gives me, I'm family. I got a mama, daddy, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, all of that, and I would like to be, I always tell my granny I'm going to be the first one to, become a millionaire. And not so much that it's for the money, but, like I say, just provide an opportunity. So, family, that's the number one thing that I'm going to go hard for them regardless.
Yeah, I just we in similar position. We talk almost every day about family, and I have 2 younger sisters, and I pretty much want them to not deal with the stuff I deal with. Being in school for so long and dealing with so many barriers and things of that nature. So, pretty much wanted to be in a position to ease some of the struggle, and not just family but friends. That's why I offer people roles, whether they take it or they don't, just because I might see something and say, hey, you want this opportunity, you take it. Now a lot of times if they take it or they don't, it's in their court. Right. But I do want to help people. If I was in this position to be put somebody in the movie or vice versa, I would appreciate it more, I would say. So yeah, it's pretty much, that's what pretty much keeps me driven and keeps me going.
Okay, so we're gonna jump back into it. We were talking a little bit earlier about the grind and the process, like having that self-doubt when you're pursuing your dreams. It gets tough. You doubt yourself. I even know everybody, honestly, some people front like it's not true, but every day you're questioning, like, am I supposed to do this? You have your highs and your lows, but dive into that a little bit for y'all, because like I said, the outside looking in, y'all killing it right now.
My family think I'm a millionaire. All my cousins, They texting me, hey bro, let me hold. Hold what? Yeah, you have those hot days where like you feel like you own me.
Yeah.
You know, you put your first movie up, but I try not to have that mindset. I know Kobe Bryant, Mayweather, just to name it. Tyler Perry even mentioned it, where they worked hard like they was broke, even when they was rich. And so I just try to have that mindset to where like I'm never at a high point. I always can elevate higher than this point. Like if you keep that mindset, like that's why you see so many people in movie industry, music industry, where they come out with one album or one hit, and then they get this $750,000 check, and they don't go back to the studio for a year. Because now you know they get complacent, and so you don't want to have that mindset to where like you get this and then it just stop. And so I just keep that mindset. As far as the lows, I thank God for the lows, because the lows are what keep me driven, or keep me humble, keep that thorn in my side. You know, I'm never too high. You know, so I thank God for the lows.
Yeah, I think it's similar. You know, some days you have a lot of highs. I think for me, you know, I love to see like the feedback of people giving on the work. I feel like that's always a blessing, and you know, it's to the point where I can always think back to like, I guess the lows where, you know, drop a post, ain't nobody really messing with it. But now, you know, pretty much every post I know that somebody is liking it, somebody is impacted by it. And not only because they're double tapping, but because, you know, they hit you up directly and let you know like, yo, I really messed with that, or that inspired me, or look what I'm doing, da 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 da. So I think, you know, the highs is definitely, you know, inspiring people, and, you know, overall just not quitting. And some of the lows, it can just be, it really just depends. You know, some days you just wake up, just not really feeling it, but just like Trey said, like, you know, those are the days that really can make or break you. So you got to remember, you know, remember the lows, focus on the highs, but don't forget about the lows, because that is what keeps you going higher at the end of the day. And, you know, we're trying to take it as high as it can go. So it's like you can't have one without the other, the yin and the yang. So, you know, you got to stay grounded with the lows, but, you know, we're trying to take it as high as it can go. So just got to stay determination. That's what it is.
Part of the process, and you're growing. At least that's how I'm looking at it now. And I think it's, you know, they say prepare for the worst, expect the best, if I said that right. But it's just like, you know, something's gonna happen, but it's how you handle it when something happens. It's your attitude and how you take it. And it's like, well, I knew something was gonna happen, but it's making me better. It's pushing me in this position that I haven't been. But more so, I rarely talk to black men on here or anything like that. I really want to give that perspective for you guys as black men, as males, all that stuff. As far as mental health, growing up in your family, and what I admire the most though is the strength within your friendships, and how you're like your brothers, like how much y'all, you know, confide in each other, and it's just amazing. You know, give me that different perspective for any guys out there, you know.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that, because you're like, don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's I met P. I remember the day I met him. I met him right in front of Cougar Village 1. We had, I went to high school with a dude named Dez. Went to Lincoln in Dallas, and I remember reaching out to our old teacher of ours, Mr. English, and letting him know I'm going to University of Houston. He was like, I got Dez's number. I remember I text Dez, and he was like, I'm finna show you what Houston about, something like that. So I meet Dez in front of Cougar Village 1, and he's with Pierre. He has this real long ducktail. I'm like, who is this dude? And he's like, oh yeah, he went to Kimball. So that was the first day we met, and so we met through Dez. And pretty much our friendship just been tight ever since then. You know, brothers. You know, we get into it sometimes. We have our highs, we have our lows. We can pretty much talk about anything. And so that's pretty much how the movie started. He came to me. It wasn't the other way around. He came to me and told me to write a movie. I was pushing it off, and he kept poking the bear. And so I sat down and I wrote it. And that's how So Far Close began. And that's pretty much how the movie started. And so as far as mental health go, it's great to have like-minded people around you, individuals who's willing to uplift you, who's able to be real with you. You don't want any yes men around you. The Bible even speaks about yes men. And so you really want no man. You want friends that's not gonna talk about you behind your back, but talk about you to your face.
True.
And so just going back to my childhood, you know, I was raised by a single mother. You know, my mom was high school dropout, and she did the best that she could with us. And my household, a lot of stuff didn't get talked about. You know, my mom's definition of apologizing would be, "You want something to eat? You know what I'm saying? You want something to eat? You know, you hungry? You want me to go buy a new game?" Like, you know, that's her way of apologizing. So even though my mom was real raw with me with certain aspects, when it came to stuff like that, she was passive. And maybe she didn't know how to communicate certain aspects. Or maybe, I mean, who knows what my mom went through in her life to make her like that. So that pretty much is the birth of many mental health issues, not being verbally communicated and authentically said. So now people are assuming. You know, now you assuming this is how it's supposed to be, but then when you get in the real world, you know, it doesn't translate. You know, so this is how it is in your household, but in the real world, it's not like that. And so that was like my first encounter with like mental health. Is not necessarily me having it, but how my mom raised us and how she would raise me real hard as a man growing up in the projects in the hood. Like, she was very hard on me. But when I talked to my grandmother, she let me know a lot of stuff that went on in my mother's childhood that my mom never spoke to us about. I didn't find out my mom didn't graduate high school until I was in high school. And she still have never, ever said that to me openly. We never even talked about it. But that's like the whole birth of like the issue is it verbally not being said. Like, you just assume it. And everybody know it, but you don't say it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, just like you said, there was a lot of sweeping under the table. You know, I guess in a lot of families, but especially in black families, that is the main thing, is just not talking about stuff. And sometimes we don't realize how much, you know, talking about something could really help, because a lot of times you got to talk about it, and, you know, that's really what slows a lot of people down. That's what, you know, it causes you to question different things. But like you said, when you get into the real world, it's one thing. You know, luckily with me, I got like a fairly big sized family, you know, several, like 4 or 5 aunts and uncles, rest in peace to my auntie. You know, my grandmother, grandfather, then I got my granddad's side of the family too. So I've always like kind of been given a realistic preview, you know, of the world. You know, my granny to this day, you know, she pushed education like it's the last thing you could ever get. But, you know, I'm thankful that she was doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because that does, it just prepares you mentally to deal with so many different things. And I think, you know, a lot of people sleep on that. That's a whole nother debate with education, you know, setting out a goal and accomplishing it. It really like helps put you in a certain way of thinking. But I think, you know, for the most part, it's the not talking about stuff. No matter what it is, that's the hardest thing in a black family, that it just keeps the issue there. It never goes away until it's talked about, you know. But it's like, you gotta talk about it. But that's what most people don't do. I mean, it's some stuff me and my dad and mom still don't talk about. So it's just like, it is what it is, you know. But luckily, I think, you know, we've absorbed enough for it to not truly stop anything. But, you know, it's always a thought in your head.
Gotta unpack that stuff and break through. But no, that's real. Just addressing it. But I think even something on the side we're talking about, that's being self-aware and noting it. The fact that you guys are even taking that step, and the beauty of it, like Trey saying, your mom, you don't know what she dealt with, and having that compassion and empathy. But knowing each generation we're getting better, each generation we're teaching ourselves, we're growing, and we're breaking down that barrier. So, you know, once you have your family, like, hey, I'm not gonna do this because I know how it impacted me.
Exactly.
But yes, that's what I love the most about it. And I want you guys to give your feedback as collaborators in showing that support system, the importance of a support system within the community, and providing resources to the community, and how that ties back into Picnic at the Park. And what you guys expect to see in, you know, the event coming up. So,
man, I think you gotta there's no way to make it by yourself. There's no way to really truly be successful by yourself. Even if you had a job and you go in there with the mindset of, it's just me, I ain't gonna mingle with these people, that can stop you from getting promotion and stop you from elevating, just because you don't got the relationships that you should develop But that's a whole nother thing, developing relationships, because that's all it is when you building that support system. It's like-minded individuals, kind of like Trey said. That's the hardest thing to find, though. People that's on that same wavelength. A lot of people, just people at different places, and you just gotta kind of maneuver till you can find people that's on the same thing. Y'all don't gotta agree about 100% of things, but I feel like if it's 75, 80%, that's a good friend. Maybe even a little bit less, but you gotta have you can't have a bunch of yes men, like you said. You gotta have people. You gotta have multiple different personalities to really, I don't know, it just does something to you. It just trains the mind a certain way to have people that think differently from you. Now, I ain't saying they just all the way over here with it, but definitely want people that's got their own opinion. I'll say that. You don't want people that's, always on the same thing, but you're going to like-minded individuals. You can be like-minded in, many different ways, but if you're like-minded, that's going to make your work better. It's going to make their work better, and y'all going to elevate as a unit. Because if you're trying to go by yourself, you're going to just be stuck, and you're going to see this person with a group just steady going. So you got to have a support system. Ain't no way to make it without it.
There's a Bible verse in Proverbs says, iron sharpens iron. And so it's pretty much what it is where you're weak, this friend might be strong in this area, and vice versa. And so y'all both elevating each other, and then you equally yoked. And now you both elevating like this instead of, I know this, but I don't want to tell this friend, and I'm going to keep doing this, and they going to stay down here. That's not really a friend. What's the point of being successful if you just the only one up here in this lonely house and you got nobody to share it with? So it's pretty much you sharpening your friend's iron and they sharpening your iron. And so that's the importance of having a great support group. I have my grandmother, I have my mother, my sisters. My sister that's Essence is probably a little too supportive. She ready to fight over me. Anybody say something negative, she want to fight. But and I have my friends. I have my film crew. I have a great support system. I choose to focus on the people who love me and not the people who don't. Because if you focus on that one person that don't like you instead of this 99, then that's when you become depressed. Or like, why don't they like me? Or why don't they this? Yep. But I focus on the 99. And when you focus on the 99, this one person don't even exist because you focusing on the love, not the hate. So, and really the root of the issue is what are you focused on? Or who are you focused on? Who are you trying to impress? Who are you doing it for? And if you trying to be successful to stunt or to impress these people, then you're never going to be fulfilled, truly. Because they always going to have something to say. If you get 10 gold medals, 5 gold medals, 20 gold medals, they going to say you didn't get this gold medal. So you fight a losing battle. But if you focus on these people who love you, then that person don't exist.
Just like that. That's why we gotta, get back to the community, like Destiny was saying, because it's important to show people, especially that you want to show kids that people can come together and not only congregate, but you can come together for a unique purpose, and you can as we say, you can take it and elevate it, because by collaborating with more people, it's gonna bring more awareness, which in turn puts more people on notice. So now they see what's going on, which that can potentially convert them. But especially for the kids, it shows them like, yo, we need to be like that. Instead of saying, we gotta be out here taking the easy way, we can be like these people. We can do this. We can come to the park and not cause no trouble, or not even be accused of trouble. We can just come out here and have a good time for a great cause. And I think that's why it's very important to collaborate. 'Cause if she didn't have no friends, this wouldn't be nothing right now. We wouldn't be able to be talking, and we wouldn't have all the different collaborators at the event. So you got to network, you got to communicate, you got to be, you got to have friends.
Make sure y'all come out to the park, man. I'm super excited about this event. Extremely excited about this event. Make sure y'all come out. I'm going to be there. P's going to be there. Destiny's going to be there. Many other. We're going to have our cameras. So many people's going to be there. And just network, man. Just love on one another, man. It's just really absorb and learn from. We all learn from each other. So I'm very excited for this event. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing this. Hey, I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely appreciate Destiny extending the invitation. It's live like Channel 5.
Well, thank y'all again. I always thank you. So appreciative. I can't wait to see what you guys bring and have the cameras out there, teach us a little something. But go ahead and let let them know how to find you. I'm gonna give little ads, the bio and stuff. But let them know where to find you, where to get your content, what to follow, the YouTube pages, everything, all that. Okay.
My Facebook is Trey Powell, Trey. Last name Powell, Powell. You also can just search Dr. Shadow to come up. No period. Instagram is Dr_Shadow_. I'm not really on Twitter like that. Email address TreyPowell28@yahoo.com.
That's everything. I'm mainly on Instagram. It's 11.pierre, so 11.pierre. Or you can find me on Trey friend list or Destiny's friend list. Just type in Pierre. I'm probably the only one with the name. Or my website 11thhour.com. You know what I'm saying? If you want some crazy content, last but not least, youtube.com/22minutes11. That's where we post on all the concerts. You can find some exclusives with the movies, docu-series, just a lot of creative content, and you can probably get inspired. So we everywhere.
Well, thank y'all so much, and we can't wait to see y'all picnic at the park, July 28th. Okay, bring your family, friends, bring your picnic stuff, games, everybody, everything. We're gonna have some fun. July 28th, picnic at the park, Herman Park. We will see you there.
Yep, it's lit.